Bro, the worst thing in the world was Timmy getting this famous, bro. And this video surfaces every like 3 years, bro.
Watch me, you. Watch
Oh,
me, you.
you
Hey,
serious?
okay.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into some bonus coverage of Call It What You Want here on the Golasso America YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Chuck Wagon Davies, and we have a special guest with us. So special, in fact, that an A-list celebrity, Timothée Chalamet, call him the Foot Mozart. It's Alex Muyl. Alex, thank you so much for joining the show. So when someone calls you a Foot Mozart,
Alex Muyl is a Foot Mozart.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
fire.
where do you go from there? That's like peak. That's a peak statement. And so I don't know if I would want a nickname like that because that feels like a lot of pressure. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was a little bit tongue in cheek. If I was Foot Mozart, I would have known by now. But I'll take it, bro. It's hilarious. It's a great great little title. I don't think I'm gonna claim it, but if people want to call me that, I'll live with it.
Hey, I wouldn't hate on it. You know, this is usually what happens when someone doesn't really know the game that well, and you're like the homie who's really good. That's when those nicknames tend to come. So what was it like if you took me back to young Alex Muyl and you're playing with Timothée Chalamet? What is that relationship like? How is he as a player? Does he know the game that well as a player? Like, could he play?
No, for sure. I mean, he was a baller. He ended up being a goalkeeper like later. But growing up, he was always really good. His father's French, so like my father. So he was steeped in the game. Big Saint Etienne fans. His dad will always send me articles, like Saint Etienne articles, all in French. I have to try and like read it. I'm not that good at reading French, and he really wants me to sign there. He's trying to broker a deal actually to get me to go to Saint Etienne. But yeah, no, he knows the game really well. We would travel to France. We did some like soccer camps in France together.
Can you speak French?
I speak pretty well. I understand pretty much everything, but conversationally, I'm kind of slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there a French football team that you supported that wasn't Saint Etienne that maybe your father was interested in, or is there a community where you grew up where you're like, I got to support Marseille or Monaco or someone else?
Yeah. So my dad wasn't a big soccer player, but my cousin was a big Saint Etienne fan. Is a big Saint Etienne fan. And then I had those guys who love Saint Etienne. But I ended up supporting Marseille a lot because we would go do this camp, me and Timmy, called like Bernard Bosquet. He was an ex-Marseille player, and he had this camp in the south of France, and we went like 2 years in a row. So then I loved Marseille from there on.
That's
Allez, baby.
Yeah, that's a class club because I played for FC Sochaux. My first friendly was against Saint Etienne, and then Carlos Bocanegra ended up playing for Saint Etienne. But I remember everyone saying like, "This is a big club." Like a lot of supporters think of Saint Etienne when you think of French football because of the history. So when you went to these camps, was it the idea to eventually play in Europe, or were you kind of just learning all about French football and European football in general when you were overseas?
Yeah, we were super young, so it was like probably 12 years old. I don't think like that had really dawned in my mind yet, but it was just an excuse to go to France for our dads, I think, and they got to like have vacation while we were like 2 weeks in this.
I love it.
Okay.
Kind of militaristic camp. Actually, looking back now, they used to punish us all the time, just make us run, and it was very old school, but it was just to be locked in with 50 guys, 50 kids your age. It's so fun. You just get up to you're just playing constantly, and eating candy, sneaking food. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Not only that, apparently you've done some dancing as well with Timmy. There's a viral video that's gone out there of you guys getting after it.
Yeah.
Is that a career you would have pursued?
Show it.
It's coming up right now.
Oh, this is lean with it, rock with it, huh?
Yeah,
it's a Soldier Boy. It's a Soldier Boy. It's the intro to
wow.
Boy.
Okay.
I love it.
Bro,
your hair game, by the way, is amazing.
Getting this famous, bro, and this video surfaces every like 3 years. Bro.
Watch me, you. Watch me, you. Hey, okay.
I love that. Would this be a career for you if soccer hadn't panned out? Was dancing in your future?
I mean, clearly not. Clearly not. You could tell it was Timmy, like the constant performer, probably convinced us, yo, let's do a Soldier Boy video. And, we just went along with it. But he was always a star like that. He's always been a performer. And, since we were young, he's just been this kind of, this like figure that's so magnetic, and it's transferred completely to his acting career.
So if I go back to you as a young player with the Red Bulls Academy, you're kind of coming through with Tyler Adams and You go to Georgetown University. You come back to New York Red Bulls to play professionally. The college player, those days of making that transition to playing in MLS, it's not happening as often as it used to, and being at least as far as being an effective player coming into the league. So what was that transition like for you?
Yeah, for me, it was, I talk about this a lot with Sean Davis, because we went through a similar experience of coming from college and then coming through the ranks at Red Bull. But we were super fortunate in that we came into a system. By the time Jesse had kind of taken over, Ali Curtis, these guys were really pushing young players. And so we got like a serious opportunity much earlier maybe than other guys our age would have, And I think that in a different system, especially when I see young guys, later on in my career, guys who come in from the draft, and you kind of just feel like, I don't really know if there's room for you. Obviously, if they have something special, they can make their way in. But you just see how hard it is to crack that lineup. And for us, we kind of got a big helping hand. We got pushed a lot more than maybe other guys of our type of status or age would have gotten. So Red Bull, in a way, while it was tough, because again, also you were kind of becoming a real system player, it was also great because you were going to get opportunities if you could take that information in and perform the way that they wanted you to.
And how have you used that experience now when you made the move from New York Red Bulls to Nashville to now going from a younger player to one of the more experienced players, 9 seasons in MLS, you're 29 now, you're one of the grizzled veterans. I know there's still the Teal Bunburys of the world out there, and Walker Zimmermans are playing on your team, and I think you spent some time with Dax McCarty as well. Those are veterans for sure, but you're also moving into that category. How do you now give back to that next generation, the next version of you that's coming through the ranks?
For sure, yeah. It's super strange to have to look at yourself in the mirror and realize, oh, bro, I'm like, when I came into the league, I heard someone was 29. I'd be like, bro, they're done soon. Like, I'm taking his spot. He's done. And now I'm like, no, I got so much to give, But no, it really actually is something that has dawned on me, and something that I want to kind of become is the bridge, to help these younger guys to see some of the similar situations that they're going through and try and just impart some kind of wisdom. And if not that, because, there's always the old head in your trying to ear telling you what you should do and what you should think. At least just be a guy who can like emotionally connect and be like, yo, it is hard. Or, you're having a great moment. Yo, celebrate that. And that's something that's kind of started happening for me, I guess, as I get older, around kids more, and you just kind of start to become that nurturing figure. And it's been really good. And it also teaches you, by being that kind of person, it also helps you in your own game, because you're like, you see the scale in a different way after you've been doing it for a while.
You couldn't have said it better, because I feel like towards my last 3 years of playing, I took on that like grandpa role. Even though you still want to be out there and be that guy, it's just it doesn't move like it used to. I can't open those legs up. So we used to have on this show, one of the co-hosts was Jesse Marsh, right? We also work with Mike Grella. I remember you coming in as that rookie. You had that like Julian Edelman type, energy. Like, I'm young, I'm gonna be just running all over, tackle you, talk trash. What was it like playing with Grella? And do you have any good moments with Grella? Any good stories?
I mean, dude, Grella is like, there's no one like him. I mean, as you guys know, he's such a specific and almost like a breed that doesn't exist anymore. It's being around him is like, it's intoxicating. You don't know what he's gonna say. He's like, cuz, you're not gonna believe this, cuz. For me, I mean, I just wanted this guy to like me so bad, dude. And I think for sure being the young guy probably, wasn't super, in a place where I felt comfortable being technical. I made a lot of mistakes just for being super nervous. I could just watch this guy being like, bro, what is this guy? Why is this guy playing? Because he's so silky, he's such a baller. But he was always so fun to be around. And again, just like a larger than life figure in the locker room. Someone who he commands so much. Just his presence is awesome in the locker room. And yeah, I don't feel like you see that much anymore, a guy like that.
Now let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk about Mike Grella a little bit more, because as serious as he can be at sometimes, he just wore a Grinch outfit on camera. And so I don't know if you ever saw this version of Grella when you were playing, but he is a character.
He looks so happy.
He looks thrilled. That's peak Grella right there. Absolutely loving his time in a Grinch costume. Well, talk to me about Jesse Marsh, though. What did he give you? What did you take away from him, either from a professionalism angle or from a coaching perspective, that has still stayed with you? Because we've taken a lot from him too when he was co-hosting the show.
For sure. I mean, you just see like what a smart guy he is and how like he's just amazing at translating what he wants and being able to communicate it and get people on like lead men in the same direction and kind of create a situation where everyone's pulling in the same direction. So for me, I was so lucky to have him as the first coach because he made it super clear what he wanted. And I think, a lot of coaches, they have a lot of ideas. It's in the way that they can communicate it and simplify it and kind of like simmer it down to its most fundamental parts. And he was amazing at that. I think what I really learned from him, though, ultimately was just like the hunger. I always had it, but I just saw how much it meant to him. If he sees someone who's busting their ass, working really hard, understanding the concepts that he's trying to do, he's going to reward it. And I feel like that was such an important lesson early in my career. I feel like the reason I was able to crack the lineup was we used to, after games, the guys who didn't really play would have a session the day after, like a match day plus one session. And with him, it was just a competition. And he would actually like be in training. So you do small sided and it would get super intense. And often I'd be on like the other team as him and I would just be trying to hit him because I didn't play that much and he loved it. And I think that's why I ended up getting my chance because he saw somebody who was hungry, who wanted to train, and he was like, yo, you get to play. So I think kind of just that intensity and the standard of intensity is kind of what I've learned and what I've carried with me.
He's probably saw a little bit of you and him. You know what I mean?
Potentially.
I hope so. I think so. Yeah.
I will say that when I played against Jesse back in the day, the guy would never shut up. Like I hated playing against Jesse. He's just always talking. Always. Yeah. He's perfect to be a podcast host, to be honest. But I don't even know why he's coaching at this moment. Go ahead, Chuck. Take it away.
No, my first national team camp, Jesse Marsh was called up, and I just remember him in the camp being almost like he wants to be the elder statesman. Like his word is the gospel, and also he's in there just 2-footing you and be like, "This is how you learn." So you've played at Nashville for 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like this season was, probably left a bitter taste in your mouth. To be honest, how would you assess 2024 and what do you think of when you think about the future? Like, what are something that you can, hold on to carry with you into 2025?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it was a really tough year. It's the first time I've experienced a year like that. It's my first time not making playoffs and it felt surreal in so many ways. And, throughout the course of the season, you have so many opportunities to kind of like right the ship when it's not going well. And it felt like we would start to turn a corner and then we just never really got ourselves back in the place that we needed to at least make playoffs to have a chance at the whole thing. And I think that kind of just learning the way that just when you're in those moments, it's so hard to like kind of like understand what's going wrong and how to fix it. And everyone has their ideas. And so you end up, I think the same thing I was saying earlier, you've got guys end up pulling in different directions. And I think that makes it all worse because they're all trying to do the same thing, which is to fix it. But everyone has a different idea. And so it ends up becoming even more like shattered than it was before. So not that was necessarily always happening, but I think that what I've learned from this is it's much more important to have a large group of guys on the same page, even if it's not the most like the perfect picture. That way, at least you're like taking small steps and you can adjust once you're all together. But that's what I think that BJ's done an amazing job of because he's already has an idea and he's trying to translate that to us.
Which is probably what happened earlier, right? With Gary Smith is it wasn't the best philosophy. It wasn't the best attractive football, but everyone was on the same page to win games, right? And I think you guys wanted to move on from that defensive kind of blueprint. And there's probably, stuttering before you get to where you want to go.
Right. And we had a large portion of the season, we had Rumba, the interim head coach, who did an amazing job. But again, it's kind of like we didn't really have a huge runway with BJ to be able to turn around fast. But you saw, I think at the end of the year, you saw, okay, these are some serious, like some philosophies that you can see they're actually happening on the field and we're having a more cohesive style of play. So that was really good to see. And I'm really excited to get a full preseason with BJ and just to continue to hopefully evolve.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the end of the year because you scored 5 goals in total last season, but 3 of them came in the last 3 games. I mean, BJ, let's get after it. Put Alex higher up the field. This isn't rocket science. The guy was balling it up at Georgetown. The seeds have been placed. The foundation has been laid. Got to get you higher up the field. Tell us what changed in those 3 games in particular. Scoring 3 goals. Was it just because you had a higher starting position, or was there some tactical adjustment that BJ is now applying that can allow you? Maybe I'm giving away trade secrets here to teams in 2025, but there was something. Obviously, there was a spark, and you scoring 3 goals in the last 3 games is a big deal.
Yeah, no, I think that it was an adjustment like from BJ. I think that the way that he was coaching his attacking players, it was you're getting in more dangerous positions and in ways that you expect. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I just found myself in this spot. It was like patterns of play and philosophies that are going to get you into certain spots. So then once you get there, it's about being able to finish. And I think by the end of this year, I was feeling really confident. So I get in these spots and I'm able to score, but I do think it's, being up the field and having his attackers just be attackers. Or not just attackers. They're the first defenders. But he's much more, he didn't want us doing all this work trying to make, do all this stuff. He wanted you to be ready in the most, explosive
in those transition moments.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. And I think that, I'm really excited again to see this preseason how we continue to build that and hopefully continue scoring. Whatever happens, as long as we're winning, I'm a happy guy.
Plus, obviously, your confidence level, right? It's just getting used to knowing, okay, this guy trusts in me. I can go out and be myself. I'm not thinking about, I got to defend. I got to work extra hard defensively so that, man, I don't have the legs to go forward. So I love that. Typically on the show, we ask some fun questions. So I'm curious because you've had a long career. When you think about it, it's like, damn, you've been around for a minute. Mm-hmm. So which 3 players, past or present, would you recruit for a 5-a-side game?
3 players only?
3 players only.
So I'm in there.
5-a-side.
Yeah, you're already in it. So you already have a goalie in yourself. Now you got to pick 3 players.
And I have to have played with them?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay, I love Aaron Long. Such an amazing player, one of my favorite. Just playing with him is so easy. He's athletic, he's smart, he's a gamer, he's so good. So I think Aaron Long.
Okay.
I have to say Tyler, just a machine. Mm-hmm. That leaves only one more? All right, we need some.
You're stacked defensively. You need a strike.
I know. I
need somebody who's scoring goals.
I was thinking BWP because he was just like when I came up, he's like my idol, bro. Playing with him was someone you felt so bad when you didn't give him the exact ball he wanted because you're like, not only is he amazing and the star of the team, but he's so cool. He might not like me as much if I keep messing this up, bro. So I'm gonna say BWP. I'm leaving off so many amazing players. Yeah. I'm thinking about Hani, Dax. I'm thinking about so many guys, but we'll put BWP in there.
That's a good balanced team, though.
Yeah. So speaking of Tyler and Timothée Chalamet is your goalie, so you're set there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So speaking of Tyler, how impressed are you with seeing where he is today? And is anything caught your eye that you've seen him improve vastly in one area, and or is there anything that shocks you?
I mean, it sounds like so cliche, but no, dude. I really do think that he's you saw all these parts of him when he was 16, and he's always been this super mature head. And especially now he's a father. He's been kind of in Europe doing his thing. He's been the face of the national team, one of the faces of the national team for a while, and just seeing him become the man that he always kind of was has been really surreal. And I don't know. I love seeing his face on TV. It's when I'm watching the Prem. And I just see him, I'm like, bro, that's Tyler. And but you can see him raging all the time and the competitiveness, the way he goes around the field. He doesn't really run. He kind of bounds, he kind of hops around the field. And I think he's just become everything that he always could be. And he's still young, dude. He's still getting better. So I'm super excited to watch him. He's had some injury stuff, but I think that, that probably comes from playing for so much at such a young age. And hopefully he's in a scenario where they can take care of him and help him get through that.
All right, last question before we let you go, Alex. And it's one we always like to do here on the show. We have a special guest like yourself. Your best jersey swap. Or it could be a time where you got turned down. Because we've got some funny stories where people are
oh no, we'll change in the locker room.
I asked, I'll tell you, I Copa America, we played against Argentina, and I asked Riquelme for his jersey afterwards, and he didn't even make eye contact with me and pretended I didn't exist. So yeah, it hurt. It hurt. But I also had talked shit to him earlier in the game, so I kind of understood where it was coming from. But I thought afterwards we could be boys.
Bruce Digo.
He didn't want to be boys. He did not want to be boys after the game. So I went first there with my Riquelme one. But yeah, best jersey swap, worst jersey swap. What do you got for us?
That's a big mistake on his part, by the way. You could have.
I appreciate that, Alex. You're welcome on the show anytime. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not a big jersey swapper just because I don't like to be that guy. But all right, a situation where I was the Riquelme figure. We played Mocha FC in the Dominican Republic this year. And it was definitely one of those situations after the first leg, so we still had to play them again, but it was just like 4 or 5 of them coming over and just like asking for the jersey. And I felt horrible, but I was like, how do I even like pick one person? And I just kind of was like, nah, we can't do it. So not a jersey swap story at all. Just me being kind of like
you and the Raquel mate.
Not that cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was just one of my boys. I always, with guys that I played with, that if I'm going to swap, sure, that's the times I do it. I'll ask Messi maybe this year. I'll have to get in line and see if I can. And then next time I come on the show, I'll have
just throw some bows. You'll get in there, be first in line. Just know 90th minute comes, you're like, all right, where is he? I'm gonna stay right by his side.
Well, dude, I mean, Dax had like a full-on shirtless hug with him in the tunnel after he got his jersey. I don't know if you've seen that picture. It's very.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, be careful when you open that. You don't want to be around other people.
Yeah, Dax doing Dax things. You clearly have, this is actually a bonus question for you. You clearly have a great personality for being on camera, Alex. Is that something you'd want to pursue? Something that me and Charlie and Dax is now doing?
I don't know. I've never thought about it, but talking about that Red Bull team, bro, everybody's doing it. You got PWP, Sasha, Dax, Grella. I think Sal's doing it too.
Yeah, Sal came in.
Something about that team. I mean, I was on that team. Maybe I'll get called up. They'll just drag me along or something.
All right, our producers are taking notes that Alex Muyl wants to be a part of this movie.
Tell him I don't read so good.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
Not in French. Alex, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to spend some time with you. Good luck in 2025 with Nashville. Tell BJ and everybody we said hello, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, man. See you guys around.